I've been getting a lot of requests to review this one. I've had it for a little while now. I love it. So without any further ado, going to be reviewing Assad by Lattafa. Obviously, if you're here, you probably know that this is a clone, probably the most well-known clone actually of Sauvage Elixir from the house of Dior. I'm here to explain if this measures up, how good is it, does it really come close to being a clone of Sauvage Elixir, and just my general thoughts, opinions on this one. So guys, if you're a fan of Sauvage Elixir by Dior, you might want to stick around and check this one out. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Thanks for tuning in for another review. This one here is the famous, at this point I'd say it's famous, Assad by Lattafa. Of course, this one is known as a Sauvage Elixir clone, Sauvage Elixir being from the house of Dior, part of the Sauvage line, although Sauvage Elixir really has nothing to do with any of the other Sauvages in the line. It's a totally different scent profile. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So let's start with the box here. Very extravagant looking box, if I do say so myself. It's got a sort of velvety, almost rubbery smooth finish here. On the front we have the Assad name. There's a logo here, which I'm pretty sure it's supposed to look like a lion's mane, which makes sense because in Arabic, Assad means lion. Okay, so there's another circular design here. You can see half of it is on this side, half of it is on this side. That's kind of cool. All right, this side here on the top, and on the bottom, made in United Arab Emirates, and the barcode. All right, looking at the bottle itself, first of all, just to clear up any confusion, it seems like there are two different bottles of Assad, maybe old versus new. So I think the older one did not have these gold rings around the edge, whereas this newer version does. It has the Assad name here, Lattafa, the house, obviously the golden rings. It has this symbol in the middle that to me looks like a lion's mane. So the bottle itself takes after the texture of the box. It's a smooth, almost velvety kind of finish, really nice black bottle. Golden top here, golden trim around the whole thing actually, with the Lattafa logo. I think personally, I really like the look of this bottle, honestly. A lot of people call it ugly. I don't agree. I like the look of this bottle. The cap here, it's very light. Again, plastic cap, very light. There's no weight to this whatsoever. It does, however, click into place decently well. However, the bottom of the bottle is heavy, so I mean, if you want to pick it up by the cap, do so with caution, I would recommend. Let's get into the smell here. I'm gonna waste a spray or two. Yeah, so the actual distribution itself is good. You know, you don't get a whole lot of volume when you spray this one, although the quality is good. The pressure is decent. Starting off the beginning here, the official notes are spicy notes, clove, vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. All right, so what I actually detect is the following. In the top, I get pepper, cinnamon, a touch of burnt sugar. In the mid, I get some licorice, lavender, and carnation. And in the dry down, I get some vanilla, more carnation, and a little bit of musk. All in all, this smells very, very similar to Sauvage Elixir. Going into more detail here about what I detect. So in the top, yeah, definitely the pepper and the cinnamon. The opening is similar to Dior Sauvage Elixir. The only difference is this is more cinnamon heavy than Elixir. Elixir has a little bit more nutmeg in the opening, I think. And of course, this has the Lattafa signature. There's like a little tiny bit of a burnt sugar note, which is present in a lot of Lattafa's fragrances, like Amir Al Oud, Intense Oud, for example, Oud for Glory, and there are some other ones as well. But yeah, burnt sugar, although the burnt sugar is not a heavy note at all, but it's there. And in the mid, yeah, licorice, of course, and the lavender. That's the Sauvage Elixir signature. Those two notes are definitely prominent in the middle. However, I also get some carnation, which has a clove type of scent, but it's also mixed with like ever so slightly minty floral. So that's what's going to be responsible for giving this that barbershop type of smell, right? Classics like, I don't know, Drakkar Noir, you can definitely notice that type of accord in Drakkar Noir, also in Sauvage Elixir, and it's the same here in Assad. It's like a spicy kind of floral. It smells like cloves mixed with flowers, and I'm pretty sure that's coming from the carnation. And in the bottom here, yeah, there's vanilla, definitely, and there's a little bit of musk, as you would get in Sauvage Elixir as well. But I also find the carnation lasts until the very end, so you get the spicy kind of floral all the way through to the end here. Now, having said all that, if you're familiar with Dior Sauvage Elixir, you know that it's kind of takes an old school barbershop fougere scent and puts a modern twist on it, right? It's a little bit old school in certain ways. It's not going to appeal to everybody out there, especially maybe, you know, younger guys out there. However, I think guys, you know, age 25 plus are really going to like that sort of scent profile because it's not purely a barbershop. It has some modern tinges as well. Also some more spices added. You know, so it kind of takes the best of both worlds. Definitely the classic barbershop fougere style, adding a modern twist onto the top. And Assad does the exact same thing. Super similar note profile to Sauvage Elixir. It's impressive how close they came here. The only thing is a couple more small differences in Dior Sauvage Elixir. I find Dior Sauvage Elixir has a pine note. There's definitely a pine note in that, and I don't detect that in this. Also, this is a little bit more on the sweet side compared to Sauvage Elixir. Sauvage Elixir is more, I don't know, it's not like it's a fresh fragrance, but it has less sweetness than this one. There's a little bit of sweetness definitely in Sauvage Elixir, but not as much as this. This one has more vanilla and more cinnamon, I find, than Sauvage Elixir. And like I said, Sauvage Elixir has that pine note that this one is just missing. But if you're an average person out there in the streets, I don't think you're ever going to be able to tell the difference between Assad and Elixir on somebody's skin just in passing. It's impossible to tell the difference, I'll be honest with you. So getting to performance now, the performance on Sauvage Elixir, we all know, is mind-blowing. It's insane. It's a super loud fragrance. It's a super long-lasting fragrance. You know, 12 hours plus longevity, 3, maybe even more than 3 hours projection. It's a powerhouse of a fragrance, right? Assad isn't quite that powerful, all right? On my skin, I get longevity, total longevity around 8 hours, and total projection, I get maybe an hour and a half. That's what I consider to be average, or maybe even a little bit above average, you know, probably above average, honestly. So just because it's not as strong as Sauvage Elixir doesn't mean it's not strong. If you're worried about performance, don't be. This still performs really good. It's just not the monster that Sauvage Elixir is. Also, I would say, you know, this one is slightly more airy than Sauvage Elixir. Sauvage Elixir has a little bit more depth to it, but this one, as far as the note profile, as far as the scent profile goes, super close, super close. Which leads me to the next point, is the price. So right now on fragrancebuy.ca, Assad goes for $45 US. Sauvage Elixir goes for $148 US. So if we break it down into price per milliliter here, Sauvage Elixir costs $2.50 per milliliter, and Assad costs 45 cents per milliliter. Sauvage Elixir comes in a 60 milliliter bottle. This comes in a 100 milliliter bottle. So taking all of that into consideration, this is about 82% cheaper than Sauvage Elixir, which translates into like 5.5 times cheaper, basically. Startling difference. This is a huge price difference. And to be quite honest with you, I think you should just go pick this one up. I think the way that these big designers overprice their fragrances is just a little bit irritating to me. I don't really think they're worth that much money. You should just go with this one, Assad by Lattafa. The scent is pretty much the same, 82% cheaper. I also just have this irritation with these big designer companies significantly overpricing their fragrances. I mean, it does not cost that much money to manufacture a fragrance. They're trying to rip us off. Having said that, sometimes there are clones out there that suck, right? They try to copy usually niche fragrances. Sometimes they suck. This one is an exception. This one is like super, super, super good. I'm never gonna stop recommending this one. Just super good. As far as the versatility, I think this is slightly more versatile than Sauvage Elixir. This one can be worn out at night. It could be worn to the club. It could be worn out, you know, in any social setting, really. I wouldn't really want to wear it on a date, though. It's just a little bit too old school for a lot of women's tastes these days, in my opinion, and based on what people have told me. But you know what? There's an added bit of versatility to this where I would wear this to the office. I actually would. I would not wear Sauvage Elixir to the office because Sauvage Elixir is a bomb, right? It's too loud for the office, essentially. This takes that same scent, essentially, and just, you know, turns down the monstrousness of it, right? So pleasant enough scent for the office, and the performance here is, I would say, appropriate for the office. So, you know, you could wear this for formal occasions and casual occasions. It's very versatile, right? Because it's got above average performance as opposed to monstrous, bombastic performance like Sauvage Elixir. So anyway, guys, at the end of the day, I would just always recommend Assad by Lattafa over Elixir, unless for some reason you want to spend all that extra money on Sauvage Elixir. Maybe it's a status thing, I don't know. And to an extent, I guess I can understand that. But you know what? If you're looking to increase the performance on this one, you can just overspray. I mean, if that's really what you want, if you want to be like really noticeable in public, just overspray this. You're gonna get 9/10 of the way there that Sauvage Elixir would take you. So anyway, guys, that's been my review on this amazing fragrance, Assad by Lattafa. Hope you've enjoyed it. Can't wait to see you next time. And until then, keep it real.